Hello Saints, welcome in for another midweek video. I hope the fact that I have a cough drop in my mouth is not distracting to you, but helps me keep my voice for the duration. This week, I've been hearing three words. I know not why, wasn't prompted by anyone. The shortest verse in the Bible is two words: Jesus wept. The next shortest verse in the Bible is three words. And it's Jesus speaking once again. He said, remember Lot's wife. I've been thinking about Lot's wife. Excuse the pun, but there's a lot there. And this is in Luke 17 when he has this discussion. The Pharisees have asked him, well, where's the kingdom? When's the kingdom gonna come? And Jesus said, the kingdom's not coming in the way you think it is. I want to tell you that a lot of people today are going to be surprised when the consummation of the kingdom of God arrives. He says, nor in that day will they say, look, here it is, or there. See, everybody wants to get their hands on something. We all want something tangible to put our hands to. He said, the kingdom's not coming in ways you can be observed, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there. Behold, the kingdom of God is in the midst of you, Jesus said. In other words, it's part of you, it's part of me. It's not something tangible that you can touch. It's not something you can create. It's not something you can manipulate, but the kingdom of God is where Jesus is king. So when we get born again by the Spirit of God, Jesus said, not only do we become a part, but he said, now we can see. He means by revelation eyes. We can see the kingdom. And the more we walk with Christ, the more we see about his kingdom. Well, that conversation continues on. And he says, the days are coming, you'll desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man. But he goes down and he keeps talking about Noah and all the things that happened. He said all the corruption that was happening in that day. You'll see that again. And Ruth Bell Graham said after 9/11, the way we acted, or maybe before 9/11 actually, she said, if God does not judge America soon, he's going to owe Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. We're going to look at Sodom and Gomorrah in a minute too. But he goes on to tell them about that, all the things that happened in Sodom, all the things Lot did, the bad choices that Lot made. He said, but then when he gets to verse 32 of chapter 17, he says this, remember Lot's wife. He said, whoever seeks to preserve his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life will keep it. And I never had seen remember Lot's wife in the context of losing or gaining your life, but that's exactly what it is. If we go back to Genesis, I'm not even sure, it's Genesis 19, I think, anyway. And we see that the angels have come to rescue Lot out of Sodom and Gomorrah. God was going to destroy the city. And as the two angels come inside Lot's home, the men of the city began to be on Lot's door because they were they had given themselves to a homosexual lifestyle. They even tell Lot, if you let those guys out here, and they described what they wanted to do to them. Lot makes an interesting decision. Let me just share something with you. Just because something is recorded in the Bible doesn't mean it's right. Here's an example. Lot says, well, because he recognizes these are angels, but he said, look, I got a couple of daughters. Why don't you take them? He said, why would he do that? Because he was mistaken. And of course, the angels immediately said, no, you can't do that. Ultimately, those two angels took care of those men in defending Lot's home. And they said to Lot, you need to get out of here. Take your wife, your daughters. You need to get out of this city because God's going to rain sulfur fire down on this city and destroy it completely. There's something I need to go to that passage. I should have wrote it down. I think it's Genesis 19. Oh, there it is. I bookmarked it. There's something recorded that I never noticed before. You know, you can read 66 books 1,000 times, and then you'll see something you didn't see before. The angels gave Lot his instructions. You need to take your family and you go. He said, take up your wife and 2 daughters, lest you be swept away in the punishment of the city. But these 3 words just jumped off the page. It said, but he lingered. I don't know why I never noticed that before, but it says Lot lingered. And so they physically grabbed Lot and his wife and his daughters. They physically removed them from the city and brought them to a safe distance. And he had told them, now you're out of here. Now you need to stay out of here. Not only do you need to stay out of here in person, but you need to stay out of here in your heart. So don't look back, because it's going to be ugly. But don't look back. Well, we know the story. At some point, Lot's wife, who is not named, by the way, at some point she stops and turns and looks and is immediately turned into a pillar of salt. I've often wondered how long she stood there, how long that pillar of salt lasted. If there was anything left of it, probably not. But remember Lot's wife, Jesus said. And what was her issue? Her issue was not only was she disobeying God's order through the angel, not only was she letting curiosity govern her that day, there was a part of her who longed for work back then. There was a part of her who missed the lifestyle and the life that she had in that city, in those areas. As I was reading that, these words came to my mind. When you look back longingly at the ways of the world or your ways of sin, then either you're not a Christ follower, and that's possible, or your heart's going to become as stone or as a pillar of salt. When we come to Christ and we walk with Him, we must embrace Him to the exclusion of our old lifestyle, our old ways. If we still believe that the old ways fulfill us and bring us joy, we don't understand. We don't understand hope. We don't understand peace. We don't understand fulfillment. Remember Lot's wife. And then before all this happens, Jesus is instructing His disciples, and this is what He tells them. You've heard me quote this many times if you're a part of Abundant Life Church, but He says, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. Every one of us who are followers of Christ Jesus has taken our hands and put them to the plow. And each one of us are plowing in different fields in different directions, but we're plowing for the kingdom of God. You got something that you're doing. You got something you're supposed to be doing. And He's saying to us, you keep looking ahead. Don't look back. If you look back, you'll have crooked roads. Don't look back, because what's back there was nothing. But what was back there is a hopelessness. Don't yearn for the old days of the partying and whatever it might be, but embrace where you are now and embrace where you're going. You'll never find joy. You'll never find happiness. You'll never find peace like you will in the path ahead of you. Well, I hope that these 3 words will ring in your head the rest of this week. And I'm going to say them one more time. Remember Lot's wife. Have a good week and a good day. And go out there and act like somebody looking forward. Good day.